Forget about the beautiful face. Forget about the nice figure. Forget about the glamour. This Brazilian social media glamorous influencer by name Izabela Paiva, who is just 26 years old, is as vindictive and calculative as they come. This lady is currently under arrest by the Brazilian police for, guess what? She allegedly ordered a gang to apprehend and deal with some suspects who came to her house to steal in her absence. Yeah, let that sink in. The next time you see a pretty face, don't think she can be an easy victim. But let's get into the case, because someone would say, then why is she under arrest? Because she was dealing with some people who actually did her wrong. You get to understand at the end of this video. But let's get into it. So it's coming from Porto Velho in Brazil. And if you followed our cases this week, you realize that we are bringing a number of cases from Brazil. It's a very interesting country and you would love the cases. Now, this glamorous Brazilian social media influencer is known for flaunting a lavish lifestyle. But as of a few days ago, she has been arrested for allegedly taking the law into her own hands by ordering one of the country's most feared gangs to apprehend and, in quotes, deal with two men who apparently had stolen from her. Now, Izabela Paiva is just 26 years old, and per my research, it looks like she's a mother of two, and she was arrested just these past few days at Porto Velho as part of an organized crime operation, with the police accusing her of using her close ties with a very known, feared gang in Brazil called the Comando Vermelho. That translates as Red Command. And she's been accused by the police of using this Red Command gang in Brazil to seek revenge on these people who did her wrong. Yeah, you've heard that saying, right? Revenge is a dish best served cold. But we will get to why some people would go for that, although I don't condone. Now, let's get to appreciate how these things happened. So, according to this police, they are saying that Izabela Paiva was actually out of town, attending to business, when her home was burglarized. So she came back, she saw that, oh, okay, these guys have broken into my home, they've taken A, B, C, D, E, they've done this, they've damaged my items, they've done this and that. Now, ideally, you would expect that somebody who has suffered this type of crime should first have lodged a report to the police indicating what had happened. Right? Yeah, but no. Because in the case of Izabela Paiva, instead of reporting the crime to the police, this 26-year-old mother of two rather decided that she was going to use her connections to have the gang track down the two suspects who had broken into her home, to apprehend them and punish them, and also retrieve her stolen belongings. The police go on to talk about the fact that even though Izabela Paiva was fully aware of how serious the situation was, she chose not to contact the authorities. Instead, she deliberately acted outside the law, driven by personal revenge and in clear defiance and violation of the legal system. It is, however, also not clear, per the research and information out there, if these alleged thieves were actually dealt with in an extreme way, as Paiva reportedly had ordered this Red Command gang in Brazil to do, or whether the possessions that were stolen from her were actually retrieved. So, let's get into this case first of all and try to understand what goes on in the mind of somebody like Izabela Paiva, and as to how come she would decide that she will not go to the police. before I get into that bit, it has to first be established that she has actually broken the law by what she did. No justification can supersede the fact that she has broken the law. And I don't condone vigilantism. I don't condone seeking revenge. I don't condone doing anything outside the rule of law. But in research also, you begin to understand how people think and make decisions like what Izabela Paiva has made. And that is what we are going to try to look at. Because sometimes in appreciating that, you also begin to understand how systems can be made better and more trusting in the eyes of the civilians. So Izabela Paiva decided she won't go to the police. Now the first question is, why? Because it would have been easier for her. Report to the police deals with it, and you get your items back, the people are arrested. Some people have indicated that sometimes dealing with the police is actually not the best. I don't agree with this, but some of the reasons most people would raise is the fact that sometimes the police are overburdened and they may not have time for certain, in quotes, small cases. So you may end up having your case staying cold for 1, 2, 3, even 4 to 5 years, by which case any chances of items being stolen, like in the case of Izabela Paiva, would have evaporated. So it becomes just one of those cold cases out there. Again, some people also don't trust the police. Some people actually believe that some of these police officers are in cahoots with some criminals. And so, depending on which criminal your case borders on, it may never get solved. And sometimes, even the criminal may know you are actually trying to come after them through the police and may come after you. I think that ties in directly with the corruption at some police stations. This is not to talk about, say, Brazilian police. This is a general analysis based on what people generally have problems with the police on. Then again, there is this other group of people like Izabela Paiva who believe that the legal system is not the best. They have their own justice system in which they are the judge, jury, and executioner and can do as they please because it feeds exactly what they did per the emotion they are feeling at the time. That is how come she would now decide to link up with this Red Command because she has ties with them and go after these two guys. Now, the first question is, how did she know there are actually two people who stole from her? Maybe she may have a CCTV installed, I don't know. Or maybe she had an informant in the police, I don't know. But then, if the police are coming back to arrest her for seeking revenge, then it means that the revenge was actually sought and executed. The report doesn't state it clearly, but it can be implied because it means it was done. Unless it wasn't done, but there's evidence she tried to seek and execute it. I'm hoping they'll come clear on that. But it's looking more like it's something she was able to achieve and it has now come to light and she's been arrested for. And it's also not clear the exact type of tie she has to this so-called Red Command gang. I was hoping that they would have come clear on that because then it also begins to bring things into a better perspective. And I'm sure after watching this, you'd begin to realize that, as I keep saying, people deal with things differently. Someone would have just expected, oh, you've been burglarized, just inform the police and let's move on with life. But somebody like Izabela Paiva, beautiful as she is, seemingly friendly as she is, when she's crossed, this is the option she felt was best for her. And that is when true crime and crimes come in, because the people who stole from her in themselves committed a crime. And that crime, or that offense, started a chain reaction, in which case Izabela Paiva has also now put out a hit through this gang that she allegedly has ties with. So imagine if what she put out was executed successfully. Then these two people also had ties with other gangs who then decide to retaliate. This is how the chain effect starts. One person did wrong and then everything followed. So the question is, how is it prevented? Well, I leave that to you. Food for thought. Let's see how long it digests, but you can let me know in the comment section. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe.